Welcome to Week 16 NFL Pick'em, brought to you by the Up and Running Pod. This is Big Turk with you at Bama Turk 46 on X, at Bama Turk 46 on the TikTok. Wow. A week ago, we thought we were going to have some fireworks in the NFL, and we got one firework game, but the Thursday night game was a complete dud. The fuse burned out and didn't go boom. The Los Angeles Rams went to the San Francisco 49ers for a boring game. This week in the NFL, you have some games that will determine how the NFL playoffs are set, with the AFC pretty much done. The NFC needs to shore some things up. And with a couple teams coming away with unpredictable wins, this might happen. But as we do every week, let's go back to week 15 and see how we did. 12-4 on the week, starting with Thursday night, getting it right. Wow. The Rams and the 49ers, who scored thousands of points the week before, in this game scored a combined total of 18. The week before, they scored a combined total of 82. 12-6. The Rams get the job done in a rainy San Francisco, Santa Clara at the stadium. 12-6. The Rams come away with a win. Nobody looked good. Passing, the Stafford wins the passing with 160 yards, nothing there. Kyren Williams has 108 yards rushing for them. Puka Nacua has 100 yards receiving. Listen, terrible weather in the first half. Didn't get much better in the second. Just couldn't get it going. The 49ers are decimated by injuries. The Rams are on the up and come because of the return of some of their stars. We will see what happens with them moving forward, but they have pulled in contention to win the division with Geno Smith hurting in Seattle. They might have a chance to take it this week and at least move into first place in the NFC West. Mason, sorry, the 49ers are just horrible this season. Lose the rest of your games, get your playoff picks, get your draft picks up there, and get them done. Moving on, we go to Miami. The Dolphins, they go to Houston to face the Texans. They were never in this game. Just absolutely awful. A touchdown, 2 field goals, 12 points. One of the most prolific offenses a year ago is terrible. Lose to the Texans 20-12. Not going to get the job done. Texans have solidified the AFC South win. They should be in with that division. Moving on, we got the Chiefs at the Browns. Blowaway game. Mahomes goes out early with with an ankle injury, but they win 21-7 over the Browns, who are horrendous. I don't know what Cleveland's going to do from here. They need a lot. They need a lot of help everywhere. Just not a pretty sight for anybody that's a Browns fan. Boo-hoo, Matthew Brueggemann. The Bengals visit the Texans. They win 37-27. Listen, the Bengals defense is horrendous, but the offense just scores points beyond belief. Joe Burrow had 3 touchdown passes, 271 yards on the day, gets the job done. We are rocking right now as we are 3-1. The only game we've lost is the Dolphins game. Put a little faith in Miami, and they just couldn't pull it out. The Commanders at the Saints. This is just a complete befuddle by the Commanders here. They should have won this game by 2-3 touchdowns, need to connect a little more. But the end of the game was almost ruined by the referees that stopped the clock, allowing the Saints to spike the ball and score a touchdown and go for 2 and possibly beat the Commanders at home in New Orleans. But that did not happen. Had that game, we moved to 4-1 on the week. The Ravens decimate the Giants. Look, the Giants are just terrible. There's no question about it. They are the second or third worst team in football, maybe the worst, but there's no point to even talk about them. They're done. They're going to move on from whoever they have playing quarterback at the end of the season. They've thrown 3 out there already, and they're all horrible. Lamar Jackson, 5 touchdown passes, and just an absolute annihilation of a terrible football team. The Cowboys beat the Panthers, had this one wrong, thought the Panthers would show up like they did the last 2 weeks. They win 30-14. Cooper Rush throws for a career day, has 3 touchdown passes. Good for him. Way to move forward for them. He's not going to do much, but he could be a good backup for somebody else. They'll probably keep him in Dallas because obviously he's done well the 2 times he's had to fill in long term for Dak Prescott, who's had injury the last few seasons to keep him out. The Jets go to the Jaguars, and they win by a touchdown. Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers just absolutely annihilate the defense for the Jacksonville Jaguars. But Mac Jones has a day, 294 yards and 2 touchdowns, getting the job done, but a loss nonetheless. Maybe he's going to up and come. Maybe he just needed a shot somewhere else in New England, wasn't the place. Maybe he likes the warmth, like when he was Alabama. Roll Tide. Moving on to the Colts and the Broncos. Listen, Bo Nix is no, prized possession for anybody. But at the end of the day, he's getting the job done. They're 9-5, 5-2 at home. They win 31-13. They got a big one tonight The Broncos do that. And then the game of the week that I thought was going to be just absolute barn burner, absolute points scored. Well, they didn't disappoint. 90 points scored. Josh Allen has a huge day. Huge day. Just an absolute killer out there. 48-42, the Bills handed to Detroit. In Detroit, Jared Goff went 38 of 59, 494 yards, and 5 touchdown passes. Cook for Buffalo had 2 touchdowns. Absolute game. The Lions tried to make a comeback in the fourth quarter, but just didn't happen for them. So tough day there. Another game. I mean, all these games at 425, or a couple of games at 425, were great games of the week. Pittsburgh at Philadelphia, battle for the Pennsylvania championship. Jalen Hurts has 3 touchdowns on the day. They win 27-13. The Steelers are at 10-4. The Eagles are at 12-2. Philadelphia looks to be peaking at the right time. If they have won 10 in a row now, absolutely destroying competition along the way with a couple hiccups here and there, but just absolutely winning everything that they play right now. All this talk about problems, well, you can solve all that by winning. Arizona thumps the Patriots 30-17 in Arizona. Absolutely what needs to happen. If you're the Cardinals, they've got to win out to have a chance at the playoffs, much less a chance to win the NFC West. Buccaneers go to L.A. and beat the Chargers 40-17. Mayfield has 4 touchdown passes, gets the job done, just absolutely getting it done with Mike Evans, 159 yards, 2 touchdowns. Absolutely great game for those guys. They moved to 8-6 with a chance to win the NFC South. Still in the line. They have to finish up strong as Atlanta looks to be moving on to a new quarterback who brings a different dynamic to the team. We'll see how that plays out later in this broadcast. Green Bay goes to Seattle and absolutely demolishes them, 30-13. Listen, a garbage time touchdown by the Seahawks. That's good for them. But the Packers look good, 10-4. They play in a tough division. The NFC North is absolutely just horrible right now to be in. When you got Detroit, Minnesota, Green Bay just tearing it up. Chicago really doesn't have a chance for a couple of years. Speaking of Chicago, they get trounced by the Minnesota Vikings, scored 9 points in the fourth quarter, 30-12. The Vikings moved 12-2, 7-1 at home. 7th straight. Look, they're tied with the NFC North lead right now with the Detroit Lions, and that's going to come down to probably week 18 when they meet up in the season finale. And then your second Monday Night Football game, 15-9, the Atlanta Falcons beat the Las Vegas Raiders. I just want to call them Oakland. Like, it just hasn't set in yet. I know they've been there a couple of years. Listen, Kirk Cousins didn't do well, and now he will sit the bench as they start Michael Penix Jr. for the Falcons this weekend as they face the New York Giants. We will see what that has to do with the NFC South as they try and make a push to knock off the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 1 game behind them in the lead. So, week 15, you had one exciting game that really wasn't exciting the whole time. I mean, listen, the Lions had to make a comeback in the fourth quarter. They scored 21 in the fourth. It was 35-21 going into the fourth. They scored 21, but the Bills scored 13. The Bills have supplanted anybody in this league, especially the AFC. They've beaten 2 of the top 3 teams in the league in the last 4 weeks. Josh Allen is having an absolute monster year. If they get the defense fixed, you're going to be hard-pressed to find anybody better. All they have to do is play a little bit of defense, and they're going to be great. The Kansas City Chiefs have a lot of problems right now, but we'll see what happens. I would say week 15 for me was a success at 12-4. Didn't win. Somebody did go perfect, I believe, in our pool. But outside of that, the big Rams-San Francisco game, really thought this would be a ton of points scored. Absolute shame that it wasn't, because those are 2 good teams getting the job done offensively for the last few years. Just haven't had it this year with injuries and things knocking them out, and the weather didn't help in San Francisco. But this brings us to week 16 in NFL. 3 weeks to go. Everybody's playing every week. Got Thursday night games, got Saturday day games, Saturday night games, Sunday night, Monday night. And then next week, you got Wednesday games, Thursday games, Friday games, Saturday. You might play every day of the week. No, that's not true. But week 17 is going to be crazy. Week 17, you have games on Wednesday, 2 games, Thursday, 1 game, Saturday, triple header, Sunday, 7, and Monday, a game. Listen, the NFL season gets crazy, and with Christmas being on Wednesday, it's absolutely insane. But we're going to start right here with week 16. You've got the Denver Broncos traveling to Los Angeles to face the Chargers. Let me tell you something right now. You would have to be insane, okay? And I mean that with all the love in this world, to choose anybody but the Denver Broncos right now. The Chargers cannot get the job done on the ground, are going to have to throw the ball a lot. And I just trust that Pat Surtain Jr., or the second, as he likes to go by, is going to handle his business tonight. The Broncos secondary is going to stop Herbert. They're going to get the job done. Broncos are going to win big, probably by 10 points. So we're going to take the Broncos minus 9.5 if that's available. But you can always do an alt spread. But I think they're going to win by 10 or more tonight. We will see what happens. That's Thursday night football. Listen, the Chargers just can't get it done on the ground. The Broncos should handle their business. Bo Nix will probably make a few bad decisions. I mean, he's 20 touchdowns, 11 picks on the season. We will see. Moving on to Saturday, you got the Texans visiting the Chiefs in a Saturday game. Listen, if Patrick Mahomes plays, the Chiefs probably win by a score. If Patrick Mahomes doesn't play, the Texans win by 2 touchdowns. The Chiefs are not the same without him. Looks like he's been cleared to play as of tonight, but we will see. Pat Mahomes in, taking the Chiefs. Pat Mahomes out, taking the Texans. In the pool, I'm taking the Chiefs. Picks don't have to be in until the game, but we went ahead and put it in tonight. Let's see what happens. Saturday night does set up for a great Baltimore Ravens, Pittsburgh Steelers game, 4:30 p.m. You'll be able to catch the end of that around 6:30, 7 o'clock. Should be a great game. Lamar Jackson should handle his business. Some issues with the Steelers. Pickens might not play. TJ Watt might not play. Got a couple of out there. But listen, they're 10-4. They moved to 10-5. The Ravens moved 10-5. That's a tie atop the division. Then you come start the tiebreaker things, and I believe Baltimore has the edge there. We shall see. Excuse me. Whew. Cold in the house, getting me the yawns going on. All right. So who do you take? Well, I definitely think you got to take the Ravens. With the injuries to the Steelers, Russell Wilson doesn't have much of Pickens is out. We will see how that moves forward, but should be one of the games of the week. If everybody comes back healthy for Pittsburgh, Baltimore's going to have a tough game, even though they're at home. Should be cold this weekend. That's going to play a factor. Giants visit the Falcons. Listen, Kirk Cousins is out. Penix is in. If Penix gets the job done, which he should, they'll move to 8-7. The Giants are just terrible. They can't win anything. You don't know who's going to be doing anything for them anymore. So we're going to take the Falcons big. Lions travel to the Bears. The Lions are going to win this one huge. I know it's cold. I know golf doesn't do well in the cold. Blah, 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 blah. The Bears, they're terrible. Caleb Williams will make mistakes. Things will happen. Bad things will happen for them. It is what it is. The Browns visit the Bengals. The Bengals will score a ton of points, but this is a chance for the Browns to score some points too. Their defense in Cincinnati will hold Burrow a little bit, but it's still the Browns. The Bengals, big time. Tennessee over the Colts this week. Definitely taking them, thinking they've been playing well. Indianapolis is horrible. Tennessee travels there. Let's get the job done. The Rams travel all the way to the East Coast to face the New York Jets. They need to keep winning to keep their playoff hopes alive. The Rams get the job done against the Jets, who barely beat the Jacksonville Jaguars last week. We are moving on to Philly and Washington. This is a pretty good game here, considering the fact that Jaden Daniels will be healthy for this game. Also, the Eagles are coming on a 10-game win streak into Washington. Washington needs this game more than the Eagles do necessarily to keep their playoff hopes alive, move them 2 games ahead of what will be the Atlanta Falcons. The Eagles need the game for home field advantage, although Detroit's probably got one more loss in them. There's no tiebreaker there that makes sense quickly. They have to do a lot when it comes to them because they don't play each other. They do have opponents, but they don't play each other. So Eagles need it, but I think the Commanders need it more to kind of ease a little stress they might have, get that keep that game advantage on the Falcons, who should definitely win their game against the Giants. Moving on, you got the Cardinals going to the Panthers. Listen, it's really tough. I want to take Carolina here, I think, to get the job done. But Arizona's fighting for a playoff spot. They're going to have to give everything they got. Kyler Murray's going to show up, get his job done. McBride's going to be great as a tight end for Arizona this weekend. Let's see what he can do. But definitely taking Arizona, even though it's a long travel from Arizona to Carolina. Minnesota goes to Seattle, and they're going to put a butt whooping on the Seahawks. Geno's questionable. Listen, at the end of the day, Minnesota's playing to win the number 1 seed. Minnesota's playing to win the NFC North. That's 2 things they're trying to do, and not be just a playoff spot filler, not be a wild card, okay? Minnesota's got a great team. They're going to get the job done. Sam Darnold's been playing out of his mind. Let's see what happens there. No 5 picks to go, Sam. And the Minnesota Vikings win this game by 2 touchdowns. Patriots travel to the Bills. Everybody knows what happened. Josh Allen threw for 300,000 yards and 8 touchdowns. Tampa Bay, the Jaguars and the Raiders. The Jaguars and the Raiders. This game is not a game of the week. This is the game of the tank. Jacksonville will come away with a win because Las Vegas is just that bad. Miami is bringing the Niners in, going to come down. They're going to leave one sunshine place to come to another sunshine place. Listen, the Dolphins get the job done at home. This is the Hair versus Hair Bowl. Mason Hare's team is traveling to Justin Hare's team, the Miami Dolphins. And I just believe two of them are going to get it done. Purdy and them, they've got too many injuries, too many outs. We'll see what happens, but go Dolphins. The Bucks are traveling all the way to Dallas to take on the Cowgirls. And let me explain something to you. I am not a huge fan of the Cowboys right now because they're hurting, but I am a huge fan of the heart that they have shown. Some of their players have shown in wanting to win and wanting to get the job done. But I just think the Buccaneers are too good right now, fighting to keep that lead, fighting to keep their position in the playoffs, things like that. Real quick, talking about teammates, I want to get back to the 49ers-Dolphins game. A player for the 49ers walked off last week, okay? I just don't understand why he's on the team at all. Like, you put the you put the jersey on, you got all ready to go. I just don't understand. Devondre Campbell, Kittle came out and said it. One of the defensive leaders came out and said it. You can't just leave your team hanging like that, bro. Like, what are you doing? This is the NFL. This is not some punk league you're playing in at home on Thanksgiving Day. Like, this is the NFL. This is the real deal. Your paycheck depends on it, and you just walk off? Man, come on, man. Come on, what are we talking about, bro? What are we talking about? By the way, real quick, another point. I just think that's disgusting. I think they should have been cut that night. Should have been cut when he stepped foot in the locker room right off the field. Terrible. Back to the Broncos-Chargers. That game was flexed a month ago and has caused a lot of problems. So that game was not supposed to be a Thursday night game, and it's absolutely horrifying for a lot of players or a lot of people who had tickets to the game and had to sell them. Bad call by the NFL. We'll be talking about that more. Hopefully get another show in this week, hopefully released tomorrow night for the college football playoff. I know you folks are interested in what I have to say about that, but this is the NFL Weekly Pick'em, and it's Week 16 with 3 games to go for each team. Everybody plays every week from here on out. No more buys. It's all fun and games. 16 games to pick. Let's see if we can do a little bit better than 12-4 this week as we get ready for the weekend. We always end every day.
And this is Hank Williams Jr. to
The New Orleans Saints are terrible. Derek Carr, terrible. The team, terrible. Kamar's probably out. And they're traveling to frigid Green Bay to play Monday Night Football. And let me tell you something. I think it's excellent that they're traveling to Green Bay to get their butts whipped. Jordan Love is going to hang 40 on them. Listen, you have to put in a tiebreaker for the last game of the week. Put in 41 because I think it's going to be 38-3. Go Green Bay Packers. I'm not rooting for them cheeseheads, but they're going to win this game big. They get the most points for the week. That's my lock of the week, the Green Bay Packers over the New Orleans Saints. With 33 degrees and possible rain/snow, the Saints ain't going to get the job done. They're going to be the Aints this week. As always, appreciate y'all listening. Again, check out all of the picks this week. Write them down. Check me. See how I do. Got 16. Let's do better than 12-4. Up and running pod on TikTok. Up and running pod on X. Bama Turk on Bama Turk 46 on both places. Y'all have a good night. Appreciate you hanging out with me. Peace.